Author Beverley Gordon tells a compelling and intriguing tale in her book, My Story, and she joins us now to tell her story as she navigates through life from the highest peaks to the lowest valley. Morning, Beverley. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good stuff.
Good to be here.
My Story. It's always interesting when people decide to write an autobiography, to share their story from their lens. Yes. What inspired you? Because it's rather interesting. You've been through a bit.
Yes, yes, I have. Over the years, after going through quite a bit, I thought that I need to tell my story to someone, but then I think the timing was right. There's still a lot going on. So over the years, I've been thinking about it. I want to share it. I want to chronicle it. But it came to a point that I kept saying to persons that, you know what, there is a chapter that needs to be closed, and I have to wait until that chapter is closed. That actually was my divorce.
Right.
So as soon as that happened, it's like the Lord would just inspire me. It's time for you to write. It's time. And I said, I need to tell this story because someone needs to hear it.
Right.
Because there are times when we go through stuff and we don't talk about it. We are at church and we are quite sanctimonious and we're not sharing our hurt, our pain, so that somebody else can be helped by it.
Right.
So I found that over the years I'm in church and I minister sometimes. So I give snippets of my story in messages, but then I said, no, persons leave, persons go home and I forget what I've said. But I need to sit down and really, because it also helps me to reflect on God's goodness, on how He brought me through, things I did that I never thought I could do, where I am today, what was my purpose in life. I'm able now to reflect on all of that because of sharing that story.
Amazing. Were you journaling throughout the entire set of ordeals, because it's more than just one?
No, I guess I have been journaling, but it's a story, it's a life, it's my life story, it's true. Yeah. So although I was not journaling, it's always there.
Right.
So I can be talking, somebody will come and they're sharing something with me, or they're telling me something that has happened to them, and I can say, been there,
what that's like.
Yes, I know what that's like. So I guess over the years, all these things were just there. So when I started writing, everything just flowed. I'm just from, oh yes, this happened. Oh yes, that happened. Right.
Sometimes people say like writing an autobiography or telling a part of their story can be a bit cathartic. Did you find it to be so for you?
Oh boy, I'm telling you. I remember in particular when I got to somewhere around chapter 7, I sat down and I cried. One night I was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I? I'm putting my whole life out there in the world, And I thought, what? And I cried and I cried and I cried. But I'm like that. So when I finish crying, I'm up and ready to go again. Right. So I got up and I'm like, no, I've started this thing and I'm going to finish it. So coming towards the end, I felt like, when you're going in an aircraft and I'm afraid of flying, but I'm always flying. But then, when you go in and once that door is closed, there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, you just, you can't get off the plane.
Until it's time to
Until it's time to get up. And so you have one or two things to do. You either think, am I going to put my trust in the pilot who is taking me to that destination? Or am I going to put my trust in the one who is guiding the pilot to take me to that destination? So this is how I have seen my life. So I decided, you know what, I'm going with it.
On that note of sharing these very personal encounters, I mean, people will know you, people will know your ex-husband, they would have known the marriage, obviously from a distance, just kind of outside looking in. Now they're getting that look from the inside out. Like, how does that make you feel? Did you consult with him? Like, what was behind all of that?
No, I never did. As I might say, I'm a Christian, so I have a personal relationship with God where I believe that if He's leading me to do something, it's okay. Yes. So I never consulted with Him. I didn't need to. There's been a lot of pain. There's been a lot of expectations in my life, things that I expected to happen that didn't happen. Right. So I had quite a bit of regret. So I just felt that, you know what, I am just going to go ahead. I said, Lord, I prayed about it, and I said, Lord, you are directing me. There are things I wanted to put in the book that the Spirit of the Lord said, no. Right. There are things that I didn't want to go in the book. That He said, yes, because someone needs to hear that aspect of the story.
Yeah, because the marriage started falling apart, 6 weeks in?
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
How long were you married?
We were married first, well, 6 weeks into the marriage.
Right.
Everything started falling apart. And this journey led to 30 odd years of this back and forth thing. And I'm there expecting it to get better. So this is where the pain came in. This is where the struggles came in now, because I am expecting it to get better. Yeah. And even when friends, person around me saying, no, you need to let go, you need to just move on. I'm like, I'm still hoping that there's going to be some miracle, there's going to be some turnaround point.
Yeah.
Never happened.
The breakthrough never came.
Never came.
What would you want readers, women especially, to leave with once they've gone through and read my story?
I would want women to understand that, as my tagline is, that the best is yet to come. I want persons to believe, to think about it. There's sometimes when things are, you look at something, or you're going after something, or even someone, it may look good to you, but it's not good for you. Right. So you have to come to a point where you align yourself with God, put everything in His hands, because this is what I've learned to do. So I would say to women, just continue to believe in yourself. Know that where you've started, that's not the end of your journey. Right. And even if things are falling apart in your own life, something is still better for you.
And the message for men? And
the message for men as well, that even because most times we're thinking about is the women who are suffering, and there are men who are also suffering in their relationships too. Right. Men are abused, men are, And so I would also say to the men, hold on to God, whatever it is, just ask Him, because sometimes we think, and in my story, as I shared my story, it's to let people understand there's a connection with God that is quite real. It's not just abstract as you read in the Bible. So I would encourage men, sometimes they don't feel they can take their brokenness to anybody. Take it to God. Your first 2 chapters open with scripture. Yes. There are lots of religious and Christian, strong Christian messaging throughout the book. So clearly that's a part of your support system. What else helped you to really just kind of bear your way through? I had a good pastor at the time and his wife, and they were really my support system when I was going through hell itself. Right. They were really my support system. And they were like my spiritual parents, like a mother and father to me, because the thing is that I love my mom dearly. She's passed now. But then I don't want to hurt her. So my pain and my suffering and my struggle, I wouldn't take to her, because it gets her down. She's going to be depressed. She was in her 70s. So I would go to my pastor and his wife, and I would open up and bawl and cry and share. And they were really my support system during those times. I'm certainly going to add this one to my collection. Yes. I will have my daughter and my wife, who we have no plans on divorcing, to read through it. But thank you so much. Where can we get the book? The book will be on Amazon. The ebooks are going to be released on the 3rd of February. Oh, that's this Saturday. Yes. And then they will be on Amazon. They will be in Barnes & Nobles. They will be at Walmart, Target in Jamaica. They'll be at Fontana Pharmacy, Ophelia Bookstore. And as I've been telling people, I'm pushing to see if PriceSmart will take us. Right. But also I have a website, and the books can be purchased through. What's the website, quickly? Website it's mystoryjamaica.com. Mystoryjamaica.com. Yes. Thank you so much for this work and for being with us this morning. Yes. That's author of My Story, Beverley Gordon.